Hi, I'm Dave from Whiteys Wicked Workshop. Today I'm going to show you how to make these Millennium Falcon pads. Let's check it out.
So before I did anything, I started using some printer paper, 8.5 by 11, and just taped them up there to see what it would look like. And I was playing around with different like spacing and stuff like that. I eventually thought that I'd do the 8.5 by 12 and everything looked good. That way I have a lot of space on each side. I did like the Smugglers one did, where they kind of grooved out the back so it would kind of slide on like that. It's a nice fit. You don't have to mess around with glue or anything like that. Here's some Lowe's 2" by 4x8 insulation foam that I cut down to 8.5 inches.
So I have 2 sheets to run through here. I don't know why I didn't do them both. But what a mess! Make way for the Snoopy Snow cone machine! Every time you do anything, you should probably unplug it. Just so you don't forget. Don't get complacent. It's when you get hurt. So if I set this up, I figured out with this small piece what I need to get me close for all the pieces. Not everything's perfect, but I did like the smallest size, and then I'll have to play with maybe the inside dimension once I get to whatever archway it is, or the ceiling part of it, play with it to make it fit. But I only took a little bit off, kind of just to, you know, pop it on. Always have a piece to play with, just because you don't want to mess up the whole thing. I'm a noob at this, but learn by doing. So, look at me, I'm a mess. This bit is too big. It's a 2" diameter, 1" radius. It looks like that's the max for mine. So I need to, I'm gonna put a piece of this wood here and raise and lower it, so that way I will get rid of that. So it'll be, so I'll get a nice corner with no bump out like that. Blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know if you noticed, but I have it underneath this plate. So I'm just going to crank down on it. As long as you have enough room here, it's not going to chop it. Now I'm going to check this part right here to make sure that I don't touch. Actually, I'm going to put this right on the board and I'm going to adjust it up until it starts to move it. And back down a little bit. There. Clamp it back down. Look at that. think that's perfect. So now, I'm gonna go get a test piece and we're gonna check it out. Okay, the only thing I did wrong, I didn't take it back far enough. So this is just a test piece, but I'm gonna pretty much do the 2 long cuts that you see me do before. I'm gonna do all sides, then I'm gonna cut them down to what, 8.5 by 11 or whatever. The guts are already taken out of it, so then I'll just have to, I think, just do one side and I'm good. Actually, as soon as I cut them, then I'm gonna have to do this long side, you know, on both of them. But I hope that works out. Otherwise, I'm gonna start all over. I'm gonna have to start all over again, because as you've seen with this piece, when I had it already, this was already taken out. Look at it, kind of ruined it. I don't know if you could see that, but it just kind of went in them grooves there, and I guess if I pay attention, I could do it. But
I forgot to record myself doing this.
I found out that I only need to do the one side of each, but make sure you pay attention to the textures. I was standing up doing the glue, and now I'm taking a break, sitting on my butt, chopping up some some shop towels. And I do have, this is the left ones and these are the right ones. So I have 7 pads. I'm gonna do 7 of each. That way when I put my gloves on, I could have the glue ready and the paper towels ready. So this is kind of like relaxation time. Actually, it's all relaxation time. It's a dreary day outside today. Like, I know that I don't have to go out and cut the grass or do anything outside. So it's kind of like one of them days when you're a kid, when you had a day off of school and you could play video games all day or with your toys or whatever. It was just relaxing. Watch a nice movie. So I'm probably going to be a pro at this when I'm done. And then I'll never do it again. Ever in my life. So I got a big thing of Mod Podge here. And I transferred it into a small one after I used it. But I find that it's easier. I kind of have this open all the time. And I just dump what I need. The first time I did it, I had glue everywhere. And when I went to pick it up off of the wood, it was pulling everything off the bottom. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the top side, just kind of what's visible. I'm not going to try and not let glue get onto the wood anywhere where I put this down.
Yeah, right.
And if I do, I'll probably clean it up. But then I'll push it off over there, let it dry. But then I'll flip it around and then I'll do everything else. How you like my new haircut? I do put the glue over top, but I'm not going to let it dry. I think what Brian was doing in the video was he was going to try and get it textured without using the shop towels. But since the shop towels are now in the equation, Now I'm just going to put glue on it and kind of do gluing as I go along, and not pre-glue. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. Maybe you still need to do that, but I'm going to try one less step to do, you know. So enough blabbing. Here we go. Let's do it. So now that I have glue all over it, I'm going to lay it on and hopefully it'll stay in place. See how I have glue everywhere already? So I'm pretty much just getting it set in place, making sure that it's covering everything. I am not putting glue on the bottom side. I'm just hoping that the glue that I put on will hold it. Gonna put glue on it. Don't be stingy with it. Another thing I found out is you don't really have to play with it to get different textures. It just kind of does it on its own. As you're gluing this up, it kind of just puts these little weird textures in place for you. You don't have to do too much playing. So I'm not going to do it at all. So there, the first one's done. Now I'm just going to move it to a spot where it doesn't have any glue. And I'm going to let that top part dry. I'm going to continue with the next. Try something else here. I'm going to put this down first and see if I could set it up nicer that way. Alright, here we go. Try this again. So one thing I messed up, I forgot to flip it. So I'm going to have one with the opposite texture than I was talking about. So we'll see. See what happens. Okay, so here we have one that's somewhat dry. Comes out with like a dark blue. You can see I only did certain portions, so now I need to come in here and fix this part, and then I could put it down. Some of it stuck, some of it did not, but now's my chance to make it shine. Some of them are now done. I did have a problem with the corners, but I kind of did as good as I could. But hey, if you're out in the middle of space and you got to put cloth or whatever on your pads. I'm not eating it, Brian. I'm not gonna chomp on that, man. Every time I watch you do that, it goes through me. So if you're out in the middle of space and you gotta make pads because Chewbacca might have chewed on one, well, you gotta do what you gotta do. And I don't know, do they have Mod Podge in space? I don't know, but this one's pretty much done, ready for paint. I'm just gonna kind of let it, I don't know how good you could see the texture of it, but it's pretty cool. Some air bubbles and stuff, but hey, what could you do? So one thing you gotta watch out for, you ever play with Elmer glue as a kid? Put the glue all over your hands, and then you had fun kind of peeling it off. Well, with the rubber, it does the same thing, pretty much even easier. So as you're kind of moving your hands around. After it dries a little bit, stuff starts coming off, so you gotta pay attention to what you're doing, just in case you get like those big chunks and you don't want to get into your work. See, but I kind of just doing just really lubing it up with glue and giving it like a corner. You guys can think of a better way to do it, let everybody know in the description. Okay, so I got them all painted. Didn't have to do too many coats because I figure I'm gonna be getting them dirty, and then I'm probably going to coat them with a layer of Mod Podge to seal it, but I think that's what you're supposed to do according to direction. I'll do that anyway, just so that the dirtiness doesn't come off in the paint and stuff. So one thing I did find out was there's a couple spots that I didn't put, that I knew I put Mod Podge there, but I didn't put the shop towel there, and when you spray paint, it kind of eats through a little bit, and of course the paint doesn't go in because there's nothing to stick to really, so it kind of just burns it. So make sure you get your shop towel all over the place. Like I said, I'm all done the painting. Now I'm gonna get the water and the water mixable oil color, black. I've used this in the past, it works really good. Big tube, but you only need a little bit. I'm going to put a bunch in there because I have a bunch to do. So I'm trying to remember, I know that Brian mentioned he didn't want to make wood, so not to go left to right for a wood look. So I'm kind of just going to hit it from all different angles, I think I got to water it down some more. I don't know where this stuff came from, but it must be on my gloves. Yep, on my glove. Alright, how's that? Too dirty? I'm gonna put more water in it because it seemed to really be making it dark. There we go. That looks nice. You can see it now. Oh yeah! So I went through and I actually marked them with numbers after I fit them. Like 6 right means 6 one down over here. Number 3 is this side, 3rd one down. And then starting there, 1 all the way to 7, and I put a top. It came out pretty good. Alright, there we go. Came out really good. And I just used 2-inch insulation foam with shop towels and some Mod Podge. Satin almond paint, spray paint. And that's about it. Before I forget, I wanted to thank Brian Johnson from the Smugglers room. He took a lot of the guesswork out of it, and it really looks good. So, thanks, Brian. Is this recording? Hi, I'm Dave from Whiteys Wicked Workshop. I was just looking at that stupid thing over there, like, what the hell is that? So one thing else you gotta watch out for is, you ever play with Elmer glue? There's a couple spots that I know I put Mod Podge. Mod Podge. Podge Mod Podge. Mod Podge. Fudge!